Learn how to create, sustain, and scale up your print-on-demand business with the latest tips, guides, and strategies to help you start selling and making money today. Welcome to the Sales on Demand Show. And here's your host, Adam Schneider.
Hi folks, greetings from the land of formerly snow and ice, now the land of beautiful weather and green growing grass, which I just cut for the first time yesterday. And it's ironic and kind of annoying that as Canadians, we have to say stuff like, well, as soon as it stops snowing, I can get out there and cut the grass. But, I mean, that is the price we pay for living in a place where there is literally no hurricanes, malaria, or earthquakes. So you guys can have all of those crazy natural disasters. I'll just take the winter. Also, if somebody tries to invade Canada, there's that too. I mean, ask Russia how that goes. They'll probably tell you that winter is great. So, guys, happy Mother's Day. And I don't mean that to the guys. I mean guys in a non-specific human sense. You know, you just never know how somebody's going to react these days when you say guys or people or mankind or something like that. But happy Mother's Day. Hopefully you took my advice and made a whole bunch of sales off of Mother's Day. And I can tell you that I did pretty good. And for some weird reason, there are still people shopping for Mother's Day on Amazon. I mean, it is literally Mother's Day today. Amazon is not going to deliver that coffee mug for your mom. But I guess, I mean, a late gift is better than no gift. So there's that. And it did teach me some things about these family-related holidays in that it's not as religiously adhered to as Christmas in terms of when people want their stuff by. So it's okay to have late sales for Mother's Day, Father's Day, probably even Valentine's Day, whereas Christmas, people really want their stuff on time. I didn't get nearly as many messages from people on Etsy about whether their product was going to be on time. They just sort of inquired about it. And I said, well, it looks like it's scheduled to be on time. And I'm like, all right, cool. So people usually appreciate when you tell them stuff like that, but I don't make any promises about delivery dates because I literally have no control over any of that, and I don't like to promise things that I cannot control. So, in terms of how I did this Mother's Day, I did extraordinarily well. My sales are up 1,000% over last year on Amazon, and Etsy, they're maybe like 50% higher, not significantly higher, but I don't pay a ton of attention to Etsy. It's kind of the red-headed stepchild of my platforms. So, what's new? What's happening? Well, the course that I'm creating is cruising along. It's going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 to 25 hours worth of video. And I'm not a rambling idiot. Well, okay, I am a rambling idiot sometimes, but in the video, I get straight to the point, I teach you what you need to know, and I go through and I show it to you. So you're not getting any useless information. It's all very, very useful, and it's all about selling on Amazon because, I mean, I'm doing well, and people want to know how to duplicate those results, so I'm creating a course on it. Now, as far as training goes, if you're looking for a training program and you want to sign on to something that is a proven training program, why not join me and probably, well, I want to say about 6,000, but realistically it's maybe more like 500 active members in the low-hanging system group. So there's a link in the description to join up with that. I've talked about it before. I believe they're having kind of a special offer right now. I don't know that there might be some bonuses, so click that link to watch the video at the end of the link and see if there's any bonuses. But the bonuses that you get with the training are you get a year free integration with Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. That in itself is exactly the price of the course. Normally those integrations with GearBubble cost between $27 to $47 a month per integration per month. So getting those free for a full year is an extremely good value. And then the training and the Facebook group is basically over and above that. Plus, you get $50 in Gear Bubble credit. So honestly, it's like, I hate to use these exaggerations, but they're almost paying you to be part of this training program. And maybe you're thinking, well, how does that benefit them? Well, the company that Rachel Raffay owns is called Custom Happy, and they make the mugs that we are selling on Amazon. So she makes money when you guys do well. So if you sign up for this for the training of the low-hanging system and you start selling coffee mugs, Rachel Raffay makes money off of that. So she can afford to give away this training for very, very reasonable price and offer the integrations and all of these things. So click the link to see that, and hopefully we'll see you in there. There is one gentleman that did join me, and we've been chatting on Messenger, and I think he's doing quite well. All right, so today we're going to talk about holidays, and I have dug deep, guys, and did a Google search. It took maybe like 16 seconds. Yeah, so it was really tough work, but I'm going to give you some very, very exclusive information about what holidays that you're going to be looking out for here. So I mentioned this last time. We got graduation coming up. Father's Day is right around the corner. I think it's June 16th, if I'm not mistaken. 4th of July, that's pretty much for Americans, but also Americans abroad as well. And, you know, Americans are very patriotic. Well, some of them are. Some of them aren't. But many Americans are very proud of their country, and they're very patriotic, and they want to get, you know, American-branded stuff. So go and see about creating some of that. That's a good one to kick off the summer with. Also, it is summertime now, so, you know, look into branching into other types of products. Coffee mugs might not be a hot seller in the summer. They haven't been for me. They do sell, but they're not selling at a massive rate, making me thousands and thousands of dollars every week or so. It does slow down a bit, but water bottles apparently is a pretty hot item in the summertime, and I guess it just makes sense because it's hot. And for some of you living in like the southern United States or something like that, or even the central United States, you've probably had hot weather for a little while now. And then as it gets into fall, September, people like to start selling hoodies again. And hoodies are great. Sometimes you have to manually list the hoodies, either on Amazon or on Etsy, because sometimes the integrations aren't there, but they do sell really well, and there's a great potential profit margin, probably in the range of like $20 per sale. So that's one to look out for. So holidays, guys, this is not a job that you are going to make a regular amount of money from, okay? And I do talk about this frequently, but I still think that people kind of miss this, and they get really depressed after a holiday and sales drop off. But I've been doing this long enough that I can see this trend coming, and I'm always looking at what's the next holiday. And this year particularly, I've been really kind of on the ball, although I can always do better. I know I can always do better, but I really did outdo myself on Mother's Day. I was quite proud of the success. So just to relate it to Christmas, Christmas is just mania. It's crazy. And if you got even, you know, a couple hundred listings on Etsy, you should see some sales. I never want to say you are going to see anything, because you might be one of those people that has just got dud designs out there. But if you're following the steps and you're doing the things that I'm telling you to do, you're going to see sales pick up at Christmas time. And it usually starts around, mid-November or so. They call it quarter four. It's more like quarter four, part 3. So there's like part 1, 2, 3. Quarter 4 being the last 3 months of the year, if you're talking about quarters of the year. So if you hear me say quarter 4, talking about the last 3 months of the year, which is October, November, December. But realistically, the real quarter four starts in like Black Friday, really. But it starts to sort of ramp up before that, and then it really gets going in December. One thing that you can probably count on is October, you'll probably do double your normal daily sales. November, you'll do somewhere in the neighborhood of six times your normal daily sales. So if you're seeing, one sale a day, you can expect to see around 6 sales a day. And then December, it's like 12 times your normal sales rate. But that's just sort of a general guideline. It doesn't necessarily pan out that way every time. But holidays are where you make most of your money here. And that's just the way it is. It's not going to change. Print on demand is holiday-based, event-based, and it's for special occasions like birthdays, anniversaries, weddings. So if you're creating designs that are for special events that only occur during certain times of the year, you can fully expect that they're not going to sell well outside of that, which makes it kind of challenging when you're trying to plan sending stock into Amazon for FBA. So that's kind of what I've been balancing with. I was running an experiment. I had one design that I know does sell on Amazon, but it was super duper saturated. So I thought, well, I'm crazy. I'm going to send in 180 units of this one design. And I sent in 180 because it didn't actually cost that much more to send in 180 as it was to send in 72. I'm using a supplier that I get discounts as I scale up the number. And I send them to a prep company. They use my special boxes. They put them in boxes, send them to Amazon. So it really wasn't that expensive. Cost me maybe, I want to say like $600 to send in 180 units. If I was ordering them in boxes of 36 from Custom Happy, it probably would have cost me like double that. So I did save a little bit of money in that regard on the front end, but I didn't even come close to selling out of that particular design. And it's a design that's probably not going to sell well until Christmas, although I did sell 40 of them for Mother's Day. So I would say, wasn't it a success? It was a semi-success. I was trying to stimulate sales on that using Facebook ads, and I was giving them away because it cost me as much in ad spend to get someone to buy it as I was getting from revenue. So I was just giving away, I probably gave away like 20. And then when I stopped doing that, there was a gap of like 3 or 4 days, and then they started selling. And I was like, well, that's really weird. But you know what? Amazon sometimes is just weird. It's unpredictable. And you just never really know what's going to happen. And then I had a couple of other designs that just went nuclear way, like selling large numbers per day, and then one of them sold out completely like a week and a half ago. And I thought, you know what, I could have probably sold another 8 boxes of that one. How come I didn't order that one? But I didn't even know that one was going to sell. So it was just a wild and crazy Mother's Day lead up here, and I did get a ton of information that will help me on Father's Day to know which designs I should send in. And that's what holidays are really good for, getting data. And I encourage you to experiment with things. And I wouldn't necessarily send in FBA stock unless you've got something that you know is going to sell. But honestly, if you got something that you think is a hot design, it's sold a few times, say on Etsy or something like that, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance and send in 36 of these to Amazon, I think that would be a good experiment to run. And you know what, if it doesn't sell any, you can look at your keyword selection. But if it's a design that has sold for other people, or a phrase that has sold for other people, usually stuff like that is a pretty good bet. And I've yet to have any product that I sent to Amazon that didn't have some sales. Although sometimes I've sent in too much stock and it just sits there forever. So All right, so what I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to probably wrap up, is I'm going to give you some unique and special holidays that are coming up to help you plan ahead and start prepping designs for these special holidays. And I don't mean just designs for coffee mugs. I mean t-shirt designs, hoodie designs, I guess. Hoodies may not be a top seller right now, but people still like hoodies. Crazy people wear hoodies in the summertime and they walk around sweating, or maybe they're a woman and they're just kind of cold sometimes and they want a hoodie at nights when they're outside, and like camping stuff. So I'm sitting here on holidayinsights.com and I'm reading that today is Aquarium Month, which means nothing to me, but maybe if you keep aquariums, that means something to you. So it's National Gardening Week. June is basically when here in Canada it's safe to plant a garden. And there's very little risk of frost after June 1st, although there is some risk. So if you're planting a garden right now, you're going to have to plant the frost-tolerant things like peas, broccoli, cauliflower, all the good stuff, It's also Gay Pride Month. It's not something that I participate in, but hey, I don't care what your politics is, guys. There's a world of people out there with wallets full of money that they want to spend money on things that matter to them. So if you like that kind of stuff and you're like, hey, I want to make some gay pride stuff, people will buy it. And that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. You can be totally apolitical and you can just collect money from everybody. What people will sometimes do on Etsy is they'll theme their store, one side or the other. So they'll be like, this is kind of like a Republican store, or this is a Democrat store, and then they'll be like, here's my pro-Trump stuff, and this is my anti-Trump stuff. And you know what? People will identify with things that they're passionate about. And I've never seen a political atmosphere that was just so polarized as it is right now. Like, people either really love Trump or they hate him. And, man, I've just never seen that before. With Obama, it was like, well, some people didn't like Obama, but it wasn't this crazy. So it's wide open, basically, for politics. And political people are basically, you can make satire out of political people and put it on print-on-demand stuff, and it sells really well. So that's always something to be looking into. We've got the primaries coming up. This is a U.S. politics thing, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't sweat it. But what they call the primaries, when they pick who they want to run for president. So the Democrats have like 3,000 people that are possibly running for president. It's not that many, but there's a lot. And of course, the Republicans are probably going to go with Trump again, because that's what they usually do. If somebody's already president, usually they're going to run again for president, but they can only run twice. So this will be Trump's last go at it. If he gets it, he gets it. If not, whatever. But that's definitely something to look into. Look at the candidates, and people will sort of buy into one of the candidates, and they'll be like, I support Bernie Sanders, or I support some other person. Can't remember the names of them all. But you can make print-on-demand stuff, and people can show their support by paying you money for something that has their name on it. And again, if they're a political figure, satire is totally on the table. None of the political candidates are going after people and taking things down. Oh, Joe Biden, that's another candidate he's actually leading the polls right now. So good opportunity to make stuff. So what else do we got? National Adopt a Cat Month. I have no idea what that means. But you know what? Cat and pet theme things, always good sellers. And I would just recommend that you dive into that a little bit. Look at maybe even unique pets. And if you're doing pets, using the breeds of pets can be useful. But people they like cat mugs or dog-themed mugs. Mugs that look like they're from their dog are kind of popular. I've been doing some of that stuff, and it's been quite successful. So it is also, here's something coming up. So fishing. If you know anybody that likes fishing, they're probably out there right now trying to get into the swing of things, since here in Canada the fishing season starts pretty soon here. I don't think it's actually started yet because the fish are still really tiny, but it will be starting soon. And people love to wear merch that reflects their personal passions, and people are for some reason passionate about fishing. I don't really get passionate about sitting on a riverbank and throwing things into water, but hey, you know what? Some people really like that. I love camping and hiking, which again is basically like practicing homelessness. So, I mean, I can't make fun of fishing if I can't also say that I can make fun of camping. So, yeah, camping, fishing, hiking, those are all things that look into, create some designs for that. Put them on t-shirts, put them on coffee mugs, put them on beer steins, put them on hoodies. And if you don't make some sales out of that, then I'll eat my keyboard. So that's all I can see for coming up right here. Let me see if I can see any... D-Day. The anniversary of D-Day for World War II was June 6th. So if you don't know what D-Day was, it's when the Allies kind of sent over thousands and thousands of troops to attack the shores of Normandy. And that was June 6, 1943, I think. I'll have to look back. I call myself a military historian. I'm really not. I'm just kind of a hack. Let's see if there's any more here. So sometimes these little one-off days can be useful. You can make designs. Oh yeah, Father's Day, obviously. So we got International Picnic Day. I don't know. National Kissing Day. International Yoga Day on the 21st. International Selfie Day. I don't know about that one. Take your dog to work day. That's kind of cool. We got Log Cabin Day. Beautician's Day on the 26th of June. So some of these sound like they're not going to be huge. Meteor Day. So yeah, just take a look and see if anything pops out on you on these lists of holidays. I'm on the website holidayinsights.com. It's nothing special. It looks like one of these, kind of made at home websites, but it seems to have a lot of holidays here, so I think that's pretty useful. So hey guys, get out there and get some work done. I'm probably going to talk about outsourcing next week. I never really know exactly what I'm going to talk about from week to week, but there's so many different great things to talk about that I sometimes like to just flip a coin and say, all right, today I'm talking about this. So that's it for today, guys. Have a good one. Happy Mother's Day. Cheers.